We're all looking to save at the gas pump today, and some people are actually going so far as to run their car closer and closer to empty to stretch their gas just a little bit further. However, when you run your tank close to empty, several things can happen. The first is simply you can run out of gas unexpectedly, and at best be stranded and inconvenienced, and at worst actually be placed in a dangerous situation.
On E. You know, it's a story I never told y'all from listening to the Rise and Grind for all these years, but you know, when I wrote $15, you know, I severely hurt my shoulder, like dislocated the motherfucker. I fell. And shit popped out of the socket, then popped back in, so it was a severe sprain. I never went to the doctor. I just kind of sat here for about 4 or 5 months. You know what I'm saying? Sitting up, I never slept in the bed for a while. I sat up with my back against a board. Pretty much learned how to sleep sitting up. Because if I put any kind of shit on there, it would just hurt like hell if anybody ever else got their shoulder dislocated. So in the middle of that, that's when I wrote $15. And what I was trying to get to, especially for this podcast, is that sometimes in my lowest points is when my most creativity comes up, when the most inspiration comes up. But realistically, what really happens when I get on E is that the world stops. Either I'm running out of money, or I can't move, or my circumstances are so bad that it just frustrates me. That usually my most creative moments come up. My most, what I consider to get the hell out of hell hustles show up. The mentality shows up. And as I go from ebb and flow, because now it's not so much on E like I'm broke, but now it's just on E meaning, hey, shit ain't looking good. I'm in another bad situation. I got to get out of it. I got hit up from the IRS for, $6,000 one time. You know what I mean? It's just shit happens. And you're sitting back thinking, fuck, I didn't do this. I didn't file this paper. It's all my fault. But as a result, I got to adjust money and how I'm living for a second, rebuild that 6 G's and come back into the game. But what I'm really trying to get you to understand is I'm no different than just about everybody else in this shit. Sometimes we win, sometimes we lose. We hope that we win more than we lose. But on E, you know what I'm saying? Just like where you are when you have a car and your gas is running out and that red light come on, homie, for y'all who know, you just hoping that you make it. You know what I mean? You nervous, you got high blood pressure at that moment, you hypertension. We just trying to make it to the next stop. You know what I'm saying? And in that moment, you know what I'm saying, of panic and fear, usually rises some kind of hustle, some kind of idea, some kind of willingness. Whenever I was young and shit was against the wall and shit about to go down, I was nervous than a motherfucker. But also out of the middle of that, usually came a resolve, a certain way of seeing the world, like fuck it. Fuck it, fuck them, fuck whoever coming, fuck them all, right? Because I had to make it. You know what I mean? And I didn't care what the circumstances were. I think I told you this story when I was in college and I had to get my tooth removed. And they gave you that Novocaine shit, and I had to walk home because I don't got no car or nothing. And I'm walking home and the pain is just throbbing my whole fucking head because I didn't have no car, nobody was gonna come and get me. Had to make it all the way home and shit. The doctor gave me a prescription. You know what I'm saying? I'm filling the prescription near my house and shit for whatever little numb juice the motherfucker was gonna give me. And I had to deal with it. When I was in college, I was sleeping on floors. My homie had a bed and shit, and he had support, and I didn't have no support. You know what I'm saying? My car broke down just before I drove all the way up there and shit, and I had to sell a car. You know what I'm saying? I had to get back on a bus and shit. I had to go throw boxes and shit. I had to do what I had to do. But in those moments, you know what I'm saying, I became more powerful. You know what I'm saying? In those moments, I became what I needed to do. When you read the $15 book, it's really me at that moment actually going through my own list and ideas of what I should be doing and how I should go about getting it. It became so clear to me that that's when I wrote the book. It became a step by step instead of all these random things that I knew would make money all these years. And I had to think about, okay, I would lean this way. If I was talking to myself back at this time when I was younger in the game, I would have went this way. You know what I'm saying? I know motherfuckers over here talking about all this other shit, all this extra shit. Everybody talking about stocks and investing and letting white people run your fucking money. And I'm like, nah, I can't afford to have white people lose my money, man. I can't be playing that fucking game, homie. I got to keep it in the black man's hands. Most of the time, I'm the black man who got them hands that can make the shit happen. So I had to keep it in my hands. So I had to really think all the way through on how I would do for myself. As I get into the next couple of books that you always hear me on Facebook talking about when they coming and all, I just stopped telling you when they coming now. They just going to be done when they done, because I'm actually writing like 4 or 5 of them at the same time, and they all in different points of view on the game. Some of them are much more inspirational. You know, I usually say information without inspiration for the rise and grind, but you know, I find myself now leaning towards books, you know what I mean, or leaning towards a couple of books that I want to get done that are really much more inspirational, because it is, you know, some of the things I went through, and not my autobiography, but some of the pain that I went through and some of the pain I continue to deal with is the pain y'all deal with, is the pain y'all have to come up with. And it always is beneficial to me when I read other cats who are in that kind of pain. So I got books pretty much dealing with pain sometimes, about how to handle shit. I got books talking about the love of money and hustle, you know what I mean? The happiness that comes from it, because I enjoy talking about it. I enjoy trying to do it. I enjoy trying to build, you know what I mean? I got other books that are really going towards much more of a black point of view, because I'm black. And I feel the need to address certain things that are going on amongst black people, especially not of my generation, that I think is fool's gold, is leading us down the wrong road. And so you might see a couple of different kind of books coming from me. Don't get it twisted. There will always be a book based on coming up in this world, but there will also be books about coming up in this world with your mind and how to get your mind right. And what I really feel that black people need to do, I'm no expert, I'm just offering my opinion. $1.15 was my opinion. You know what I mean? It wasn't do this, do this, do this. As you get older in this game and as you realize what's going on, you have people who are just scared to really put their mind state and their mentality out into the world. This podcast, every day I get to put my mind state and my mentality out into this world. But sometimes I run out. Sometimes, you know what I'm saying, I have to have conversations with people in order to get the next podcast. And once I had that podcast, I got 10 of them. You know what I mean? As long as I keep myself in motion and keep bumping shoulders and shit, bumping gums, jaw jacking with people, politicking, you know what I'm saying, breaking bread, I usually could pick up something. You know what I'm saying? I only heard one other dude, I think I was listening to Nas a long time ago, and he had said that, like, just through conversations he could just pick up shit. And I find myself the same way now. Not likening myself to him in that way, but liking that we have a similar way. Me going about my life, me walking down this road, comes up with things. So even this On E thing, I was just listening to the Kevin Hart interview with Sway, and he was talking about, you know, all the shit and all the people hating on him now, and him, you know, saying I'm gonna keep doing my thing and I'm building a team, and I'm listening to him, and all I kept thinking was about, you know, what he said. One thing that was hitting me, what he said, you know, I had 19 years of no before I got yes. He was like, no. Motherfucker said, no, you don't get the part. No, you can't do it. No. He had 19 years of no. And at that point, when you really going for what you think you are, he thinks he's a good comedian. He is, as far as I'm concerned. But, you know what I mean? He had to deal with it. He had to deal with the lows. And the lows for me are always on E. Because the lows for me always bring me back to when I was young in this game. And I mean young in age. And you know what I'm saying? And me being poor and me not having enough. And I had to stretch them dollars. I had to figure out how to buy clothes and shit. And how to, you know what I'm saying, use some ingenuity and shit to parlay. Like me and one of my boys from Richmond, we were talking about how we used to go to different places, even the Goodwill store, to pick up a shirt. And you know what I mean, push that shit with a pair of pants from some other place. You know what I mean? And I'm the outlet king in this motherfucker. I still go to outlets. I don't give a fuck. My thing is I ain't gonna pay too much money for the same shoes, but it's just a thing of it allows my my creativity to come up, to see something and say that shirt goes with those pants, and those pants are over at this place. And you know what I mean? And I just keep piecing shit together. And usually the way I come out of an on-E moment, when I'm really going to the low moment, is when I stop concentrating on trying to do the big shit and I start trying to piece together shit. All the ideas all these hustles you've heard on the Rise and Grind have been years of my life in the past That's why I know another book will come out with the future, because this is really the stuff that I've given you for all these years has been my past. You always talking about, you always hear me saying I went here, I was here, I was here. You don't hear too much about my current life, and that's where I think the next book is coming from, and the next way of thinking is coming from, because I need to make sure that cats can progress. You know, whenever I get a cat who say, you know, Freeman, where the second book at? And, you know, part of me, because I ain't really the best of dudes. You know what I'm saying? I'm the best of men, but not the best of dudes. So when people ask me where the second book, I always want to say, hey, homie, did you even do 1/3 of the first book? You know what I'm saying? Motherfuckers want the whole storyline and shit, and you didn't get up and do the first thing yet. And so I always jump on myself. This is not me trying to jump on you, homie, or anybody who ever said that to me. It's really the way I keep myself in control. Because, yeah, I want to know where the million's at. But, damn, I need to know where 1,000 at. You know what I'm saying? So when I get on E, young homie, when I lose it. Because I lose, homie. I don't want you to think I win. Throughout all these podcasts for all these years, like I told you, I moved around, lived in different places, different relationships, came and went. Homies that I knew that were cool with me, ain't cool with me. Dudes that I thought I could build with, I can't build with. Motherfuckers sneak dissing me on the internet. All kind of shit that I ain't never did nothing to nobody. But you know what I'm saying? When I get on E, when I let all that shit get to me, it actually refocuses me. I'm gonna give you something, man, that exercise I go through whenever I get to the bottom of something. You know, I got books, $1.15 books, and I got other shit that I got. You know what I'm saying? And you know what I like to do? I like to sit down and I like to pack them into the packages, get them ready to go. I got a homie out on the East Coast who sends out books for me too. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes I'll prepare a whole nother box, pre-pack the books and shit, and send them out, you know, east or get something out west, or do whatever I need to do wherever I happen to dwell and bail. In the middle of all that, it helps me to say shit's happening. You know, I gotta package the product to pick up the profits. You know what I'm saying? I gotta get my shit ready to go so I can make money. And that always seemed to have helped me get out of a bad situation. I'm just like you, homie. I grew up where we stretch $1, where we don't go anywhere because we only got so much gas left. That we don't eat out because we only got so much money left. That we don't, you know what I'm saying? We iron our clothes and shit, and we keep them hot and pressed because we need them for a special situation. We always in preparation for better days. So my answer to always being on E is in preparation. In the middle of my shoulder being fucked up, I'm sitting here writing books, getting packages ready, figuring out shit, getting on the internet. All the websites you see, I developed, I created, or I adapted from a template. I did that shit. I learned Photoshop. I learned all this shit. You know what I'm saying? So even when shit looks bleak on my end, young homie, I always find a way to be creative and build in the middle of that shit. You know what I'm saying? I bring this up primarily because sometimes I could talk about hustle all day, and I could talk about what you should be doing and what we could be doing and what we would be doing if you would get off your ass. But sometimes I gotta talk to you about the fact that sometimes, hey, the well runs dry, homie. Sometimes I'm sitting here with a podcast and, you know, I could talk about some old weird shit, but if I ain't feeling it, I know y'all ain't gonna feel it. You dig what I'm saying? If I just put out any old fucking thing and y'all, oh, this some any old fucking shit Freeman putting out today. You know what I'm saying? I know the reason why you listen is because you're looking for insight, and you also listening to my tone of my voice. You also listening to the joke, and you living in a moment of saying that you run a similar angle to me. We run in the same lane. We trying to get to the same places. So I do my best not to put out bullshit. I do my best not to write bullshit. You know, all these books are really coming from a point of view of coming up, not coming from a book of me coming up off of your $5 off of Amazon or $10 off of getting the book. You know what I mean? I put the books in a point where I said, you know, I gotta give you a reason that you can't deny buying this shit. You can't just pass up $1.15. You can't pass up the shit on Amazon. It's only $5. You gonna give a dub to a dumb motherfucker. You give a dub to me, and I'm gonna give you knowledge that will last forever. And that's a burden I carry on myself to not put out no bullshit. to not go to the point of just trying to do some fame. I got a homie out in Vallejo, and we always, jaw jack about, dude, more like my damn manager, to be honest with you, kind of seeing what's going on. He listens to the podcast. He tell me what I think he should, I should be doing, what I should look at. He bring in other cats that I know who are doing other podcasts, and he'll tell me what they doing. We also laugh about motherfuckers stealing my slang or stealing my angles to the chips and shit. And you know what I mean? And they trying to morph it into their shit. And I'm cool with all the brothers in this game who trying to spread, the exact same thing that I'm spreading. I don't got no beef with them. You know what I mean? We all got an angle to this chips. And I don't want to be, you just got to do it Freeman way. I prefer that other dudes gravitate into this game. Tell us your lane, tell us your angles, so all black people can come up. That is my mission. You know what I mean? That all of us will come up. But he gives me some insight on the shit, and we laugh about a whole bunch of shit. But it's actually to say, hey, yo, Freeman, you doing good, homie, but we can do better. You know what I mean? Don't be relaxing and shit, thinking that you okay. Like I complain, like any other dude who got a lot on his plate. Hey, yo, homie, I got this shit is a production. You know what I mean? Behind the music, behind finding the instrumentals, behind doing the intros, behind trying to have a message to everything I say. This shit is a production. And sometimes, you know what I'm saying, each podcast might be 2-3 hours when you only hear it for 20 minutes. I'm listening to music, like I told somebody, man, I listen to music like some of y'all are producers, and I listen to music like y'all probably listen to music. I listen to music in my car. I listen to music when I'm walking down the street. I listen to music when I'm climbing, walking, exercising. I got them in my headphones, homie. I listen to instrumentals, homie, all day. Trying to think, oh shit, I need to keep that one. Yo Gotti, okay, that's Yo Gotti shit. Okay, oh, that's Jada shit. Okay, I'm gonna hold on to that. Timberland did a beat for who? I don't even know who this motherfucker is, but I like the beat. Blah, 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 blah. So you know what I'm saying? All this production goes into a 20-minute podcast and shit. And I tell my homie, I was like, hey, man, sometimes, man, this shit gets to be like a motherfucker because, truth be told, man, it's not that I feel nervous about telling you what's going on and the way I see the game and the ways of the world when it comes to Daniel Freeman. It's really like, I always want to give heavy hitters. You know what I'm saying? I always want to give a home run. Because I know that on the surface, some of these podcasts are not home runs to some of you. But I always get some other cats who it hit right on the head. Oh shit, Freeman. That last podcast, homie, that was the one. I was blah, blah, blah. And I get emails or I get, little instant messages or I get something that somebody tell me what's popping. But when I'm on E, you know what I'm saying? I always do something that regroups the game. But I got to deal with the fact that I'm in a low point. And all this shit is just really symbolism, homie. Me getting up and packaging more books. Me, writing down more hustles. Me sketching out the next books. Me doing all kind of shit. Coming up with new businesses. Losing in businesses. Losing friends. Losing people that I know are cool with me. You know what I'm saying? Creating enemies off of Alpha, actually telling motherfuckers how to better themselves. I create enemies. You know what I'm saying? But you know what I'm saying? I'm a soldier to this game. I've always been someone who came up from nothing. I've always been the person who could stretch that dollar. I'm the one who figured out how to piece an outfit together, piece a meal together, piece a hustle together, and I surely can piece this life together. Even when the shit don't look good. So this podcast is basically just giving you some of my own remedies. I don't ever want you to think I'm Superman. I don't ever want you to follow me. I don't ever want you to think that I got all the answers. The goal of what I'm trying to do is create in you your own answers. And if it comes through my stories and through my life and through my jokes and, you know what I'm saying, my tantrums and sometimes my frustration, then so be it. It's my duty to share with you what I am and what I see so you can benefit. It's like it's my duty to give it to my nephew. It's my duty to tell him how motherfuckers are, how the game gonna really go down. You know what I mean? So he can be better than me. So he won't fall into the pitfall. So he can look like a mastermind. So he can proceed to do at 20 what I was trying to do at 30. He's 10 years ahead of the game. That's what I'm trying to do. So when I'm on E, homie, I just do whatever I get into the motions of building again. No different than the way you would get on a bike. Ride the elliptical, start back lifting weights, go walking, go running, clear your mind, get rid of clutter, get rid of people who ain't building. I do that shit over and over and over. It's like the purge. You know what I'm saying? Until I get to a point where new shit comes. So when the next round of books come, because this is more like a precursor, it was on my mind today. When the next round of books come, don't get it twisted. There will always be a money-oriented book, because I'm a more money-oriented cat. But now that I'm getting older, I'm seeing the game a little bit more bigger, spatially, horizontally. I'm gonna give you some other shit. Now the same crew, couple of cats might say, "Oh, Freeman, I don't want to hear that shit." It's okay. It's gonna be a couple of you do. It's gonna be a new angle to the chips. It's gonna be a new angle to life. When I started Rise and Grind, man, it was a bet between me and my brother. He said, "You always talking all this shit about money and shit. Why don't you put something out there?" And so out of that bet, out of that little hesitation, because I don't like to put myself out there like that, created Rise and Grind, created the book, created you cats listening to me on a Monday, looking forward to it. And I'm thankful for that. You know what I'm saying? But it never was my mission. Now I'm starting to formulate a mission of what I can get accomplished using the Rise and Grind, using the book, using the ideas. This is why you never hear me say I'm going to go do a seminar or anything. I don't even know what that shit would look like, young partner. Hustle 101, brought to you by Daniel Freeman and Burger King. I don't know what the fuck. I don't even know how that shit would look. It would seem so fake because the game is so, you know what I'm saying, organic to this shit. The game I want you to develop is so, hey man, it's snowing. What sells in the snow? It's raining. What sells in the rain? It's hot. What do people like when it's hot? I need for y'all to create that adjustment, that quick twitch to this chip. The real definition of a hustler is the identification of a money-making opportunity and proceeding to move on it. That's what I need to become. Long after I'm dead and gone and the books dry up and motherfuckers don't remember who the fuck I am, the hustle will remain. It was here before me. It'll be here after me. And those are the things I concentrate when I'm on E. Next time, partner.
Real niggas back. How about my real niggas back? How about my real niggas back? I got my real nigga with me. I get the money back. Put that money in the bag like whoa. Hit the gas in that new rate like whoa. And I know these niggas hate, but I laugh in their face. Got $250,000 on my wrist. Whoa. Big shit, ballin', house on the hills.